Welcome back, folks. After our Milford Sound adventure in the rain, it was time to get the all-new 2050 Supercab out and about to meet some Stabicraft fanatics. We teamed up with 5 different owners from across the South Island to hear more about their Staby story and find out what they think of this beast of a boat. First up, we head to Moeraki. Once a whaling station and now a small fishing village, it's 3.5 hours north from Stabicraft HQ in Invercargill and home to some strange boulders. Our first owner is a farmer, engineer, and sometimes a test pilot.
I'm John Evans, and this is my 2002 Stabicraft 533, and this is Meg. They were not happy though. They went, no, this is a restricted area. You can't be here. This is my favourite seating position. This one here, you'd have no idea how comfortable it is. The boat handles extremely well. Like today we had 20 knots of wind, a bit of chop, and it's similar to my old Staby. This when you're handling it in the chop and the swell, it just really holds on, and you don't feel it's going to let go on you. One of the key things that having a boat down here is you've got to be able to get on and off it at the wharf, and often it's windy, so the fact you can walk around the side of it with the handrails up the top and heaps of deck space, get out the front and get off it, that's pretty key. You can certainly tell there's been a lot of thought go into the interior layout of the boat. The more you look, the more you find. You'd own it for a year and you'd still find little things that you didn't know were there. The big thing for me is lots of storage space. Awesome features like the side steps to get up into the bow. Sliding windows here. Really handy if you need to be waving, to give directions to people that are backing your trailer in, and hand signals and whatever, and a bit of fresh air. When you're out on the water on a day like today, these handrails that are on the side and on the rocket launcher, absolutely a fundamental safety feature, because people, and I always remind people when they're on my boat, is they've got to be holding on to something all the time, and if you position yourself here and here, that's a really good position, because it does inevitably chop up and can get quite rough, and your people need to be able to hold on. You could have 6 people within this area here. It's not cluttered. You've got the removable chili bins that slot under the seats, because portable seat, don't take up any space, and just stow them away when you don't need them there. One of my favourite things about this particular boat is the really wide gunnel. Excellent for just sitting on. When you're fishing, I often sit in that position. When you're rolling over the back to go diving, and as you saw maybe before, the dog likes to walk up and down there nice and securely. I think Meg's quite a fan. She's had a pretty adventurous morning this morning, and so she's curled up in her little cabin up the front there. The key to a good day at Moeraki is to really be getting out on the water early, and that involves having a good hearty breakfast to get things going in the morning, and getting out on the water with the right gear, obviously, and the right preparation, and looking at weather forecasts, and having a EPIRB or a beacon or something like that, first aid kit. All that stuff's always in the boat, in the grab bag, and then getting back in before it chops up, clean the boat up and have a good feed of fish. That's what it's all about, really. Because we never had boats ourselves in the family, and wanting to get into it, I built a wee 12-foot sailing dinghy called a Sunburst when I was about 14. Yeah, it's a really satisfying project. This thing's over 15 years old now, and it's well looked after, and it's a hell of a lot of fun. Like, it's just a whole nother boating experience when you put a sail up and you use the elements to get around. Well, I didn't name the boat, and I've heard various stories on what you're supposed to do if you change the name of a boat, so I thought it was just safer to leave the name as it is. I've been asked to show you guys around my boat. So starting at the back, obviously you've got the Yamaha 115. The ladder there is perfect for getting on and off with dive gear, and when you're swimming and water skiing and whatever. The wee seats behind the helm seats makes for a good step to climb up onto the front of the boat. So clearly Staby had the foresight to design the walk around for the width of a red band gumboot, but in pretty much all conditions you can get around the front to the back of the boat pretty easily, and just this side window is pretty sturdy. Meg never misses a beat when it comes to adventures, whether it's in the plane or the boat.
She's always wanting to get on board, so having the nice wide gunnels is a pretty important feature for Meg to be able to explore and come and join the fun.
I want to tell you about the anchor because it's got no fancy winch drum or anything like that. It's purely just something you throw off. And when you're on the beaches, like we were going camping and whatnot, is being able to throw an anchor out the front and you don't have to unwind anything. There's no electrical things going on, and also it's in one big hunk, so if you're diving and someone's in trouble, just throw the whole lot over. It's got a buoy on the end and you can get out of there to go and sort out whatever you need to sort out. I think there's only 2 dents on the boat. The one at the front was mooring on a slightly rougher beach than we anticipated, and there's another dent on one of the pontoons at the back when we were dropping someone off outside Mechanics Bay, which is close to the Coast Guard headquarters, and they certainly didn't appreciate us using their facilities. And on our hastily escape, there was a bit of a rock in the way, I think, from memory. They were not happy though. They went, no, this is a restricted area, you can't be here. Remember Rolf, the German guy? He won a helicopter ride or something like that. And he's like, oh, would you come with me in the helicopter? I was like, yeah, sure, but we're out boating. And so they just dropped me off at the wharf at the Coast Guard. And so I just got off there and went and jumped in the helicopter. And good. Yeah, but the Coast Guard weren't happy. After 20 years, you'd expect a few cosmetic minor wear and tear defects, but you know, on the whole, it's as good as new as far as I'm concerned. It's still watertight and completely reliable so far. What more could you want from a boat?
Next stop is Akaroa. We meet 2 more owners with very different boats, and we also get treated to 2 very different days of weather.